Welcome to Contemporary Family, a global quarterly magazine providing professional resources and research for effective co-parenting.
Be well informed of family policy changes around the globe.
Learn new interventions to improve child outcomes.
Read of children's rights and co-parenting advocacy.
Change your perspective.
We can improve child outcomes together.
International voices with shared purpose.
Meet our regional ambassadors.
Build resilience. Lead. Become an empowered family professional. Visit Contemporary Family.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mark Roseman. I'm founder of Preserving Family Ties Media, an educational multimedia company which I began in 2020. Some of you may know of our flagship publication, Contemporary Family. It's an online quarterly news and research publication focused on family systems and change through divorce and separation and child custody, and especially looking at the impact of parental alienation and associated behaviors. You may also know of MarkDavidRoseman.com, MDR and Associates, our national virtual support groups, and coaching for targeted parents. All of this is the culmination of my social science research, teaching, and presentations, which you may find helpful in my book, Preserving Family Ties, the same name as Preserving Family Ties Media. We all hurt. We all have different approaches, and we have different vocabulary and different expectations, certainly as professionals. And yet we are all unified by our own individual history as targeted parent, as a professional working with clients to improve family ties when parents separate. And I worked in this field since 1998, gotten to know a number of the really outstanding professionals, leaders in the field of dealing with these changes in shared parenting. And for you, just know that everything that you do to educate yourself is information that you can also bring to those in power to make changes. So ask yourself, how can we accomplish that? Is it such a big task? And the answer is, it appears to be, but it doesn't need to be so. Because number one, you are here and you are being attentive. And if you are open and attentive, you will have the tools and the skills to help others in their own journey and to help the professionals seeking to make those changes. So let's find our own way of navigating this haunting tragedy for many in the family court system. And let's work towards our own personal healing. Please read more about my work in the field of contemporary family and the virtual support groups by visiting contemporaryfamilymagazine.com. Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best in your journey.
Hello, my name is Philip Hendricks. I'm a private practitioner in Castle Rock, Colorado, USA. After serving 7 years on the board of Parental Alienation Study Group and as its treasurer since January 2025, I now have the distinct honor of being the president of Pasg. We are an international membership organization and U.S. nonprofit and the world's premier entity concerned with the topic of parental alienation. We also maintain perhaps the most extensive electronic bibliography in existence on this topic, as it contains more than 1,100 books, book chapters, and articles published in mental health or legal professional journals. As a member, researchers, scientists, and other professionals and non-professionals alike may access this information known as the Pasg database. Pasg promotes the following 3 interlocking goals: supporting research into the causes, manifestations, identification, and interventions for this condition, educating mental health and legal professionals, and policymakers, and others, and counteracting widespread misinformation regarding this topic. Besides holding a regular international conference, the directors and professional members of PASG have been busy writing a book. Our new book is titled Parental Alienation Theory, Official Synopsis, and it summarizes the most important principles of parental alienation theory. As most would admit, this aspect of family law is highly polarized, and this book is a bold step toward consensus. This book also serves as a foundation for ongoing dialogue, since we invite researchers, practitioners, and policymakers to help us refine and expand upon these principles in future editions. Parental Alienation Theory, Official Synopsis, which is an easy read, is published by Charles C. Thomas Books. One of the unique things about this book is that there are 16 contributing authors, with PASG listed as its primary author. I'm sure you will find this book most educational, even if you believe you are already familiar with its contents. Even if you are a seasoned professional in this subject matter, you will appreciate this book. Plus, the book is also for those who are less familiar, or even someone who is a critic of PA theory. I promise you, this book is for everyone to read thoroughly and then place a copy on your bookshelf. As a special bonus to everyone in attendance at this conference, a copy is available for you. Thank you.
I'm Dana Laquadera. I'm the author of You Know Who, An Alienated Daughter's Memoir, which was published in 2023. This is the story of being alienated from my mother when I was 4 years old after my parents' divorce, and of all the longing and truth-seeking that followed. For as long as I can remember, I had a deep desire to tell my truth and to eventually write it down. And so, like anything risky, I procrastinated for a long time, wrote it in starts and stops, but eventually it was out into the world, and I have since met many wonderful readers, and I appreciate every one of you and sincerely wish you the best on your own journey. This is not a book of advice on how to reconnect or how to solve the issue of parental alienation, but rather it's just my raw, true story of my experience as a child growing up alienated from my mother. And thank you for reading.
Hi, I am Frances Carr. I am the Regional Ambassador for Contemporary Family Magazine here in the UK. I'm from Plymouth, and I'm here on the Hoe with Smeaton's Tower behind us, and it's beautiful and it's sunny. For a change, it's not raining. So, why am I the Regional Ambassador? I'm an alienated mum. Thankfully, I'm no longer alienated. I'm now reunited with my daughter. But I am fighting for the thousands of parents and children here in the UK who are still fighting to be reunited with their children. I've been working alongside Parental Alienation UK and Jan James, and I am a founding member of Recover Our Kids, which was formed by 6 mums who got together last year to lobby the House of Lords to get parental alienation identified in the domestic abuse bill that went through Parliament last year. I'm also working alongside the Change for Children and some other fantastic charities, and forgive me if I've forgotten you, but Split the Difference, the Dolce Vita Project, Parental Alienation Awareness UK, and lots of other fantastic people. So, if you've got something that you would like the whole world to know, please get in contact with me so I can get an article into Contemporary Family Magazine. Alternatively, don't be surprised if you hear from me saying you are doing fantastic work. I would love to have an article to go in Contemporary Family Magazine. Thank you, and please get in touch. And I'm sure all my contact details will be in the description below. Okay, thank you.
Close Encounters of the Worst Kind, now in its 2nd edition, is the most comprehensive, compassionate, supportive guide to understanding the unique and complex nature of narcissistic abuse and parental alienation. This groundbreaking book provides a complete roadmap through the healing process into recovery and ultimately to the freedom and happiness survivors deserve. Readers will find the latest discoveries on the psychological, emotional, and physical effects of NPD abuse. They will learn how narcissistic abuse infiltrates families, romantic relationships in marriage, workplace, and friendships. Written in a non-labeling, non-judgmental style, survivors will come away feeling validated and empowered. You asked for it. Now it's here. Close Encounters of the Worst Kind Comprehensive Recovery Workbook is the official companion to Randy Fine's best-selling Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Guide, Close Encounters of the Worst Kind 2nd Edition. This workbook is for anyone who is processing the concept of narcissistic abuse, anyone who recognizes the concept of narcissistic abuse and would like to dig deeper into the understanding of it, and anyone who wants more guidance on the path to healing from it. Close Encounters of the Worst Kind Comprehensive Recovery Workbook is comprised of 48 lessons, each followed by a reflecting writing exercise that can be written directly on the pages of this book. Each lesson concludes with final thoughts, helpful tips, and highly effective strategies. Learn everything there is to know about narcissistic abuse, and then dig deeper using professionally structured lessons focused on optimizing the healing of your unique situation. Gain clarity and deeper insight into the entire experience of narcissistic abuse and what it takes to heal from it. Break free from the manipulation and control. Set the emotional hostage free. Don't let the narcissistic abuser steal another second of your life.
Everybody, I'm Dawn McCarty and I'm coming to you from the United States.
And g'day everybody, my name's Dr. Elise Price-Tobler and I'm coming to you from Sydney, Australia.
And today we're talking about our book that we published last year. And while you may have heard the phrase, children are not weapons, this book actually is. So every year there are millions of children who are weaponized in high conflict divorce and separations that are experiencing child psychological abuse related to parental alienation and abduction with lifelong consequences.
Which I've captured in my 2 books here from my twin PhD. So I interviewed 10 adult child survivors of severe level child psychological abuse related to parental alienation, and half of them were also abducted children. And then I went and I interviewed all the mental health practitioners, 11 of the best in the world who work with this cohort, and compared and contrasted all of the data regarding treatment and all of that information is now in my 2 books, and that led us toward having a conference.
Yeah, the conference was nothing about us without us. We had 16 different speakers that joined us for the conference, and that they also contributed a chapter to our book. So for the first time ever, survivors are breaking their silence, and they're coming forward with this groundbreaking anthology, award-winning anthology. So it's not just a book, it's a collection of raw, unscripted evidence from the world's first all-survivor international conference, and now an award-winning book that won the James Madison Literary Award as well as Amazon bestseller. And we're excited that it was an award-winning book.
We just want this to be seen really as a book that people can see what the long-term effects on the adult children are. We just want to point out that the long-term effects on us, because Dawn and I are both adult survivors as well, can be very serious. We're talking about serious level autoimmune diseases, potential links to cancers, high suicide rate within this cohort, and a lot of the adult survivors who spoke talked about what it was like for them as children, a lot of them, how all of the arguing and fighting just really contributed to their detrimental mental health effects. And there's positives in there as well. A lot of these children managed to get through and build extreme resilience. In fact, among the 10 adult survivors, there were 23 degrees between them, almost about to be completed were 2. So It's a very interesting book. It's hard reading, but it's reading that needs to be done by the professionals who work with the adolescent and adult survivors, and we've got to try and get this basically stopped. So our job, we don't need to be talking about this stuff anymore. So this book is a preventative. It's to help the
resource.
Professionals. It's a resource, and it's also for adult child survivors. You can read it as well. It's for you so that you can not feel like such an outlier as well.
Yeah, our speakers and our authors came courageously to share their stories that are bridging the gap between the clinical expertise and the lived reality of this trauma. So this was truly a historic event, and this book will permanently be a record of our advocacy and our voice.
Yeah, and we made the conference. Dawn and I came up with the idea, and Dawn drove everything. Like she had all the technical skills,
like a hurricane.
And was a brilliant mind. And a hurricane Milton, hit the day that Dawn was supposed to speak, the first day of our conference. But we had so many people internationally who were able to pick it up. Martin Mongello was one of them. A few other people in there we can mention too. Jeannie, she was one of them as well, so she stepped up. And we had no funding, we had no sponsorship, even though we did ask for it. But it's pretty much the Wild West out there.
Mm-hmm.
First time conference in the world. So we weren't backed, but we went ahead with it anyway, and we invited very well-known adult child survivors to speak. So we had some very famous adult child survivors who a lot of people who are watching this will know. And we also had some up-and-coming adult survivors, up-and-coming voices who got to have a platform as well, and also contribute a chapter to the book. So that was amazing. So it's basically to warn the professionals and the public who work in this field just about the long-term consequences, because there's a lot of them. So, and within that research, I'm now writing the treatment protocol that goes with working with this cohort as a mental health practitioner myself. What works, what didn't, and why. And so I'm doing that. That's currently being written. So, and then this year, we're going to partner with the Parents Beyond Breakup crew here in Australia, and we're going to be actually playing the videos from our conference here, and anybody who joins the Parents Beyond Breakup conference this year will get to see the videos. We're going to actually bring them out of the vault and play them for free. So that's another contribution that we're trying to make. So Parents Beyond Breakup is mums in distress, dads in distress, and grandparents in distress. All of those people are coming together, and we'll be hearing all of the latest cutting edge research, as well as having the adult survivor voices in the mix as well. So yeah.
Yep. So the stories inside this book, they're not just stories, they're a declaration that healing is possible and the resilience that shines through, even though, like Elise said, that there are some it's a hard read in some of these stories. There is a warning in front of the book, but there's so much information and resources available inside the book as well. We've tried to really pack in as much as we possibly could that can help people that are just coming and discovering some of the things that they may have gone through. So yeah, it's a resource. We're intending it to be a resource for not just the clinicians, but also for other survivors who are just realizing what's happened to them.
So we hope you'll pick up the book. It's an amazing book, the world's first, and like Dawn said before, it did actually win the James Madison Award and got #1 Amazon bestseller. So with no funding, no sponsorship, we've managed to put all this together ourselves, and even the adult survivors, they weren't paid either, so they all stepped forward. We're trying to bring a different perspective into the child advocacy area. So yeah, Thanks for watching.
Yeah, so this book is your call to action. Get the book today, educate yourself, and stand with the children.
Yep, and if you want to know more about the adult research, go and grab my 2 books here. The bottom one, the top book here, is a photo of me with my 2 siblings, my father in the cool stripy t-shirt, and my uncle. That was on one of the last contact visits that we had. And the one, volume 2, just here, is a picture of me with my father after we reunited after 23 years. So, and Dawn, she was abducted away from her father, didn't see him for 44 years, and reunited with him, and only had him for 2 years in her life before he passed away. So we understand the space. It's all we've ever lived, and we're trying to do something a little bit different. So please check out our stuff and feel free to contact us if you'd like to as well.
Yes, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm Dr. Lynn Steinberg. I wrote the book, You're Not Crazy, Overcoming Parent-Child Alienation. And I wrote this book because there are many, many books that are theoretical, that are scientific, and accounts of parental alienation, but actually I didn't see one that told parents what they can do. When a parent initially discovers that they are being alienated by a former spouse and their child, whom they had a great relationship with, and there was no abuse or anything else that was dark in their history, they feel crazy. They can't believe it. And then when they go into court, they're really treated like a criminal, and they're dealing with false allegations. And there's just so much to wade through. So this book is an attempt to help alienated parents navigate what parental alienation is, and what happens in the courts when you have to fight for custody, how to choose a therapist, how to choose a lawyer, and what the laws are and how they need to be changed, and which countries actually have laws against parental alienation. So I hope this book is helpful to you. A number of clinicians have told me that it's helpful to them, and they use it as sort of a handbook. So I hope you enjoy it. The other book that I have a chapter in is published by John Gray, the guy who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, or the other way around. And it's just a chapter about parental alienation, since my goal is to educate people about parental alienation and to be an advocate both in public and in the court system. Thank you.
Are you a professional, advocate, or survivor with a powerful story to tell? Do you work with families facing the trauma of high-conflict custody or the family court system? If so, this is your moment. I'm inviting you to become a contributing author in the next edition of the Hope for Families Building Bridges of Hope collaborative book series. Our first volume, Building Bridges of Hope, Overcoming Trauma in the Family Court System, became a #1 international bestseller on Amazon. It united therapists, legal professionals, advocates, and parents, all with one shared mission: to shine a light on the real struggles families face and offer guidance, tools, and hope for those still in the fight. Now, we're building book 2, and a few author spots remain. If you've lived this story, or if you've supported families through it professionally, your wisdom is needed now more than ever. By joining this anthology, you won't just be a published author, you'll stand alongside other respected voices, changing the way the world understands family court trauma. You'll receive guidance and support throughout the writing process. Even if you've never been published before, this is your chance to share your expertise, to inspire change, and to be part of something bigger. Spots are limited and time is short. If you feel called to be part of this movement, visit hopeforfamilies.net or message us directly to claim your seat at the table. Let your story be the bridge that gives another family a path forward. We can't wait to welcome you into this powerful collaboration.